Hi there. So today we are going to speak about the different age ranges and what that means briefly, of course, because a lot of times I see coaches using the same recipe for a lot of different age ranges. Okay, so it's really important that we understand that when we are working in the youth formation, we are working with children. Okay, they never stop being children. That's something that they are all the times. Okay, even if we think that football is the most important thing because we are the coaches of the team or because we are doing great with the team, a lot of times we tend to forget, which is something that we shouldn't, and we should fight it as much as possible. We tend to forget that we are in the presence of children. Okay, I would say that until they are 15, okay, 15 above, they are children. Yeah, and a lot of times that's something that they really like, it's football, but let's not forget that there are a lot of other things happening on their lives. They have school, they have friends, they have family. Okay, and that's something that we should never forget because that will influenciate the training sessions, that will influentiate their mood, their availability, and so on. Okay, also from the age of under 15s up, children's adolescents start to worry about different things also. Okay, the friends are really important, girlfriend, boyfriend, and so on. The relationship with the parents, a lot of times it starts to be a bit rough in some moments. Okay, also in school, in regards to the grades, in regards to the teachers, and all those things count a lot. Okay, don't forget that as a football coach, in youth formation, you have your players 1 hour and a half, 3 times a week, plus the game on the weekends. Okay, a lot more happens on their lives when you are not there. So don't forget about that. Try as much as possible to create an atmosphere of empathy with the players. Okay, but which are the children. Try as much as possible to understand their situations, to do more questions than you do affirmations. Okay, not to judge before you try to reach the person behind the player. That's of major importance. Okay, that's also of major importance when whether you are working with an under 5, with an under 9, with an under 13, with an under 17. Everybody has emotions. Okay, independently of the ages. If an under 5 or an under 4 is crying because he's on the training session and he wants his mommy and daddy, it's up to you to give the correct words or to ask the correct questions or to motivate as much as possible that children to want to stay on the training session. Okay, as much as it is when you have an under 15 which is being too much aggressive on the training session and you don't understand why, and maybe before you push him or you judge him, which sometimes makes it even worse, maybe if you step him aside and have a quick chat and try to understand what's wrong, maybe you will discover that he had troubles in school or that he had a really bad grade in a test, and then you can help him overcome that situation on that training session by giving them some wise words, which is really important these days, or just improve his capability or his resilience for situations that might happen again, so that he's more ready to face real world challenges that we have to face every day. Okay, and that's something that you should really focus on. Yeah, very briefly and going into more detail specifically, don't forget, even inside the same age range, a lot of things changes. Okay, you have children that develop very differently. You might be working with under sevens where you have a player in your team that is really small and underdeveloped, and another one is already really developed and bigger than all the others. That makes a huge importance. Okay, that makes difference on your planning. That has to make a difference on the way you look into the games, you look into the training session, and you should count on that. So the difference in the physicality, okay, and those are clearly visible. You can see if a player is bigger than the other on your team, but also don't forget that emotionally and rationally and in the capability of understanding, children also variate a lot. They vary a lot between themselves. You might have one that is really developed mentally and understands frustration and deals well with it, and is able to overcome it, okay, because their parents speak to him about that, or because he have faced different situations than another. But in the other hand, you might have a player that physically is the strongest, but he's a baby, and he creates troubles and he cries for everything on the training session because emotionally he's not yet developed. Okay, so don't forget that the tag of the age range gives us very, very, very few information. Okay, the tag of the age range doesn't make your group homogeneous. Yeah, so don't forget about that. Try as much as possible to tailor made your sessions in regards to the kind of players that you have. Okay, try as much as possible to tailor made what you expect from the players, the relationship that you create with your players. Try to tailor made it to their needs, to their emotional needs. Okay, try to make the sessions relevant to their physical needs, and of course that will reflect then on the technical side, on the tactical understanding of the game. And that's something that you should really focus on, is to try to be spot on, not to put sessions in regards to what you know or what you think that they need, but in regards to what you see that they need. Okay, and there is nothing wrong with making mistakes, no problem at all. If you develop a training session, it's then important that you understand, okay, this wasn't appropriate for my under 9s. So then next time, if you cannot spot it during the exercises and the training sessions, next time you'll be able to understand that those were not the correct exercises or the correct measurements or so on. Okay, and try to be as accurate as possible, and for the next situation or the next training session you will already be above those situations and you have corrected as much as possible. Okay, so also socially, don't forget about that. Yeah, you will have players that are more introverted, you will have players that are more extroverted. That will make a huge difference in regards to the way that they will relate with their teammates, the way they will relate with the coach, okay, the way they will relate with the staff. And don't judge them by that. Understand that they have different personalities, different developments. That's really important. Okay, so you spoke about the mental part, the physical part, the social part. Of course the psychological will go much more, they will go along with the mental part. Okay, and we have to speak just briefly again about the complexity. Okay, don't forget that players in their youth formation should, as much as possible, have... Hello, we have a friend here with us today. Say hello. Say hello, Yogi. Don't forget that we have to, as much as possible, to be solid on the formation that we give them. Okay, don't try to jump stages. Don't try to think that you are going to jump into very complex drills if your players didn't manage the most simple ones. Okay, if you have to, on the beginning of a season, lose a lot of time in very basic drills that you feel that are major for your players to be able to perform the model of play that you want, nothing wrong with that. Okay, because otherwise you will generate frustration on your players, you will generate frustration on the staff, and you will be really frustrated, and either you will question yourself about your quality of work, or you will question the effort or the quality of your players. Okay, and a lot of times what we need is to give time to the players to develop, is to give time to the players to adapt to the drills that we are developing. Okay, and that makes a huge difference on their confidence, on their capability of understanding and developing in regards to the game. And it's something that we should really focus on. Okay, try as much as possible not to get into too complex situations. Keep it simple on the beginning, at least when you start the season. Keep it simple, do simple drills, do drills that develop the players in regards to their basic needs, the pass, the reception, the creation of a physical boundary that allows the player to sustain well in different drills throughout the season. Okay, create simple situations, create situations of small relations. Of course, this will be really dependent on the age that you are working with, saying numbers or spaces, okay? That's why we'll have specific sessions just to speak about the planning, but of course it will change. But the main idea is keep it simple as much as possible until your players dominate the simple situations. A 4v1, if you have to start with a 4v1 or a 3v1 or a 2v1 or a 4v2, okay? Try to start with basic situations and develop from there, okay? That's first rule. Second rule, in case of doubt, always give more space to your drills that you feel more than you feel that the players will need, okay? It makes a huge difference for you to then reduce the space if they are having too much success. It will show the players that they will improve, that they have improved, better than the other way around, okay? If you start to reduce space, players will think that they are not competent doing it, yeah? So keep those details in mind. Don't forget to look into it as much as possible, and don't forget about something. Focus on the beginning of the season, understand the reality of the players that you will have, understand the age group, but more than understanding the age group, understand the players that you have, so understand the children behind the player, okay? Really important to look into the people and then see the player, okay? Let me know about your comments if you have some thoughts in regards to this. I hope you find it useful, okay? Don't forget to subscribe so that YouTube can understand as much as possible that we are giving really good information and that it's shared among more coaches, okay? Don't forget also to check the Instagram and the WhatsApp group, community group. We are giving a lot of information there, and don't forget that the general idea is really this: is a project to share information, is a project to develop coaches that want to develop, because coaches that are developing will help players to develop even more and will help human beings to develop even more behind those players, okay? Make a part of it, be a part of it. You are already a part of it for sure just by watching this video. Don't forget to share it, yeah? And we all together will take football to a different level, okay? Thank you.